Hello and welcome to the NEBOSH Diploma Element C6 Machinery Safety, where we will be discussing in general machinery safety. Every day we use machinery to make our jobs simpler and easier. With all the positive things that machinery can accomplish, it is easy to forget that it can also be very dangerous. Let's start by looking at the different motions that a machine can make. This will help us to identify potential hazards and understand how machinery guards and safety devices can be used to contain them. All machinery operates using a combination of three basic motions. So, rotation, reciprocation, moving back and forth, and transverse motion, moving in a straight line. When these motions are combined, that produce what is known as articulated motion. And this can be especially dangerous because articulated motion makes it hard to predict which way the machine parts will move. There are areas where machines' moving parts can create potential hazards. The drive chain, the moving parts that drive the machine, the perimeter, the area around the machine for a worker could be injured by flying debris and other hazards, and points of operation where the machine's mechanical energy is directed to cut, bend, move, or otherwise process materials. There are four types of machine safety guards that are used to protect workers from the hazards within these areas. Let's look at each of these guards and see how they work. Fixed guards are the oldest and simplest type of machine guard. They include things like wire cages, clear plastic shields, or metal covers which create a permanent protective barriers. Drivetrains are almost always protected by fixed guards. Often the guards are built into the machine's housing in order to fully enclose the drivetrain's moving parts. Fixed guards are sometimes used around machinery perimeters and at points of operation as well. However, since fixed guards are permanent, they must be positioned where they will not be interfered with the worker's ability to access or operate the machinery. In situations where fixed guards don't work well, interlock guards are often used. These guards use electronic sensors that will not permit a machine to run unless the guards are in place. This provides workers with complete protection while at the same time enabling safe access to all machine areas. When an interlock guard is opened, the sensor trips a relay switch that shuts off the machine's power. When the guard is closed, the power returns, and the machine can once again be operated. While fixed and interlock guards can greatly reduce the number of accidents around the machine drivetrains and perimeters, other measures are often required to prevent accidents at points of operation. Let's look at why points of operations are so dangerous and what types of guards and devices can be used most effectively to protect workers at these spots. Accidents are common at points of operation because workers are often only several centimetres away from the moving parts that can cut, crush or expose them to kickbacks, sparks and flying debris. So it is extremely important to use machine guards at these locations, but at the same time, the guards cannot interfere with the operation of the machine. For this reason, adjustable and self-adjusting guards are frequently used in these situations. Adjustable guards can be moved by the machine operator to suit their needs, while self-adjusting guards move automatically as material makes its way through the machine. Because of the way that they work, these types of guards must be inspected before each use as well as every time there is a change in the machine setup. It is particularly important to make sure that the guards are properly adjusted in order to allow materials of various sizes to pass through without sticking or kicking back. Additionally, adjustable and self-adjusting guards must never have gaps or openings large enough for any body part to slip past. There are some situations where even adjustable and self-adjusting guards can interfere with a worker's ability to run a machine. When this is the case, safety devices should be used. These devices protect you in several different ways. Let's take a closer look at these. Light curtains are one of the most common safety devices in use today. These photoelectric systems use beams of fluorescent or infrared light to create invisible barriers around machine perimeters and in front of points of operation. If something such as a hand breaks one of these barriers, a relay switch trips the machine's power and it is cut off. This protects the workers by stopping the machine before they can encounter any moving parts. By reflecting the beams of light onto a series of mirrors, a curtain of protection can be created around the machine's perimeter. This keeps workers from getting close to the hazards associated with any part of the machine while allowing for a clear view of all operations. When used at points of operation, light curtains are often set up so that raw materials being fed into the machine will not trigger a shutdown. But if the light curtains permit a finger, an arm or any other part to pass through it without shutting down, the machine is not set up properly and must be readjusted before someone gets hurt. It is essential that any machine using light curtains comes to a complete stop immediately after the curtain is tripped, because a worker can still be severely injured by a machine that is grinding to a halt. For this reason, a machine that is protected by a light curtain must have its stopping time checked periodically by a qualified technician using special testing equipment. If the machine is not stopping quickly enough, adjustments to the light curtains or the machine's braking mechanism can usually fix the problem. Like light curtains, pressure-sensitive devices are also used to protect workers by stopping machinery movements. There are two types of pressure-sensitive devices, trips and mats. Both types can be positioned around the machines to keep workers from entering hazardous areas. Pressure-sensitive trips often use wire cables and safety lines. If a worker touches one of these lines, it triggers a switch that stops the machine. In order for trips to be effective, the cables must be taut and set so that they will stop the machine at the slightest pressure. Because the cables can cover a wide area, pressure-sensitive trips are ideal for long expanses, such as conveyor lines. By routing cables through eyelets, trips can also be used to protect unusually shaped machine perimeters. Another type of safety device that is frequently used to protect irregularly shaped machine areas is a system of pressure-sensitive mats. These mats have weight-triggered sensors in them. In most cases, when somebody steps on a mat, the relay switch immediately cuts off the power and stops the machine. But pressure-sensitive mats can also be set up to shut down the machine if the operator steps off of them. Used in this way, they protect workers by forcing them to remain in a safe position while they operate the machine. Whichever way pressure-sensitive mats are used, they must be located where they will prevent workers from putting themselves in danger. And as with light curtains and pressure-sensitive trips, if there is any doubt about whether the machine is not shutting down quickly enough, the machine and mats must be checked by a qualified technician. The safety devices that we have talked about so far protect all parts of the body, but there are other devices that have been designed to specifically protect the hands. These are used on machines where workers are directly exposed to hand and finger injuries. The simplest way to protect the worker's hands is to make sure that they are out of the danger area before the machine can start. Two-hand controls accomplish this by requiring the machine operator to push two separate buttons at the same time in order to activate the machine. This keeps the operator's hands safely on the controls and away from moving parts. On some machines, a drop probe device can be used to allow workers to safely hold materials at the point of operation. A drop probe is a small metal device that drops to a predetermined spot an instant before the machine starts. If the drop probe falls freely, the machine begins its movement, but if it hits a worker's hand or other obstacle, the machine will not start. One drawback of drop probe devices is that they only keep the machine from starting and do not stop the machine that is already in operation. For this reason, they must only be used on machines like small riveters that perform a single rapid movement each time they are activated. Unlike other guards and devices, restrained and pullback devices are attached to the workers they protect. Restraining devices use short straps or tables that are attached to an operator's wrists. These protect workers by preventing their hands from entering into the point of operation of the machine that they are using. To be effective, the cable must be long enough for a worker to manipulate materials being used, but short enough to prevent their hands and fingers from entering the danger zones. Pullback devices permit machine operators unrestricted access to a point of operation between machine movements, but will retract their hands if they are too close to the point of operation when the machine starts moving. Because everyone is different size and shape, it is crucial that restrained and pullback devices are set up and adjusted for each worker who uses them. What may be a proper setting for one person could be uncomfortably restrictive or even dangerous for another. So it is extremely important to inspect and adjust these devices before each use. In many cases, there will be several types of guards and devices on a single machine. Using multiple devices is particularly important when any single safety device does not completely protect workers from all the machine's hazards. For instance, when a safety device only protects the hands, the addition of a shield or light curtain protects the rest of the body and will greatly reduce the overall chances of injury. Unfortunately, even if the machine has had guards or safety devices installed on it, that doesn't always mean that it is safe to work with. Many accidents occur on machines that have had their safeguards and devices damaged, altered or even removed. So it is important to always follow safe working practices and never operate machines unless it is in good condition and guards are correctly in place. Remember, knowing how to perform safe working practices requires proper training, and if you haven't been trained and authorised to operate machinery, do not use it. Finally, as you will be aware, it is human error that causes most accidents. Thank you for viewing this presentation.